And I suppose just very quickly, you talk about kind of being an anti-psychologist, and I'm just wondering that how that feels for you, I suppose, within the kind of mainstream. Is what is that experience like within kind of the institution and mainstream psychology?
Well, I suppose I'm now in a privileged position, as a senior academic, that people sort of, well, this is the Marcuse's term, something about repressive tolerance or something. They kind of sometimes like it a bit, sometimes don't. I mean, I think because I work at the intersection of psychology, gender studies or sexual or whatever, and childhood studies, there's a way of playing off those different positions. I mean, I suppose I'm a constitutionally marginal now, aren't I? I'm suspicious of in general, and I'm suspicious of having the idea of having a unique place of belonging. I think it's potentially dangerous and very exclusionary. So, I mean, I've learned to sort of, most of the time, I mean, there have been times when I feel pretty pissed off at being left out, marginalized, whatever. But but mostly I enjoy being in multiple positions and having lots of different perspectives. And I didn't expect ever, this is one of the differences with young people, who've kind of approached me and other senior academics saying how did you get to where you're going, where you are now, and I want to go there and do that kind of thing. I didn't expect to do a PhD. I certainly had no idea I was going to get a job in a university, let alone an elite one. And be a senior academic. I mean, so I know this sounds very much like the sort of the luck versus hard work, gendered sort of locus of control stuff. But I do think that if I might have a very different story to tell if I had said I really want to be a professor, etc. I don't have that sense of entitlement about it. I can't even bring myself to. We don't get some increments or whatever. I can't even bring myself to apply for them, and because I just think, well,
no, that's so.
That's too much of an. You have every application you write. I mean, I'm in a very privileged position now. I'm not under huge amounts of pressure to income generate, and I've only ever published the stuff I wanted to publish. So for my advice to feminists and academics, or in psychology, don't do any research that isn't meaningful to you just because you think that it'll get you somewhere. That's why I said I think it was in a way a favor, although I felt a bit looked down upon, but working in a mere polytechnic, and there were, it was very low status as in higher education. I didn't have that pressure. Didn't have the pressure to write particular things, and because I was research active, it was such an amazing thing. They didn't really care what it was, and because we put Manchester Poly on the map a bit, that was a good thing. So paradoxically, being marginal got some sort of benefits or attention, and because I didn't do anything I really didn't want to. I mean, in the end I did go for a European Social Fund grant, and there is that. I'm sitting in this room now, and I've got a window here, and I remember looking out of the window at and it was sort of the deadline for the grant was coming up, and Khadija Chandler and I were just working so hard on this grant, and I opened the curtains and I saw the tree was in bud, and instead of saying bigger buds, I said bugger bits. And at home we talk about this a lot. That was a real sign. Never again, never another grant. And it would be impossible to get that now because they changed anyway, Brexit and everything. Not allowed to. So but that was a valuable piece of work. You know, but I would just say, don't stop being feminist when you become a psychologist.